She has her worst professional pro game, and her team wins.
As soon as WNBA players have a financial stake in the business, who are they calling, begging for them to join? Caitlyn Clark.
Angel Reese, after a string of stunning performances, including missed layups and being benched, the so-called face of the Unrivaled League has definitely reached her lowest point. It appears that even her own team is done waiting for her to rise up.
Lexi Hull, Indiana Fever saved their ass, but that's not the point. When Angel is sidelined and the focus isn't on her, look at me, her teams, generally speaking, actually get a victory. Why doesn't this tell anybody anything?
And now everyone is talking about the same name: fans, coaches, and analysts. Caitlyn Clark.
You have been telling everyone how much you don't need Caitlyn Clark. This is your opportunity to see if you can survive without.
Even if Ree is having difficulty maintaining her position on the court, Caitlyn Clark's name is still very much in the spotlight in the basketball world. Her skill and influence are demonstrating that she is the player that everyone really wants to see.
The boil on Caitlyn Clark's ass, Angel Reese, may be playing in the league, but who wants to see a goofy 6'6" woman miss layup?
This film will explore the facts about how Angel Reese's lackluster performances have highlighted her flaws, how the league is disintegrating without Caitlyn Clark, and why supporters are calling for the top women's basketball player to take center stage.
Nobody is coming close to the power of the Caitlyn Clark effect. Like, they're just not.
You and I both know, right? We both know. No Caitlyn Clark, no watch. No Caitlyn Clark in the league, no watch. Caitlyn Clark's in that league, viewership doubles, if not triple.
Stay put. This is going to get serious, so let's start with the big issue: Angel Reese's performance, or lack thereof, in a league that is unmatched.
I saw highlights of it, or lowlights of it, and I gotta tell you, it's really bad. Watching 5-on-5 women is bad enough, but 3-on-3 women, worse.
Reese was positioned as the league star, as is well known, but her recent performances have drawn constant criticism and even mockery.
Some of the most embarrassing things we've ever seen happen on a basketball court. Her stat line is rough. 8 minutes, 2 for 6 from the field. It's good to see that field goal percentage is not getting any better. We got 3 turnovers, we got 6 rebounds, and we got 4 points. It was an absolute disaster.
Consider her most recent game. In 8 minutes of play, Reese only scored 4 points and went 2 for 6 from the field. In addition, she committed 3 turnovers and missed many wide-open layups, which are fundamental shots that every professional player should make every night.
The truth is, Angel Reese is not a draw. She wasn't a draw at LSU. Millions of people were watching Angel Reese. No, millions of people were watching Caitlyn Clark.
Fans and commentators were astounded by a viral video of Reese escaping an entirely unguarded layup.
Luckily, nobody was there to see that. I'm sure there wasn't anybody watching it on TV either.
Her colleague Lexi Hull stepped up and put on an amazing 19-point performance, guiding the team to victory, while she hesitated and passed the ball instead of driving to the basket, further supporting the narrative that she is just not focused or confident on the court.
Lexi Hull, right here, you see it. 19 points, 3 assists, 8 of 11. 19 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists.
The most striking aspect is that the team performed noticeably better without Reese on the court. This isn't a one-time occurrence. This pattern is similar to what occurred during the previous season, when Reese's me-first style of play interfered with team dynamics.
People thought there was great momentum. People thought Angel Reese could draw. No, nobody wants to watch Angel Reese. Come on. If I'm the Unrivaled League, I go back to Caitlyn Clark and say, what do you need? And then I give it to her. But Caitlyn Clark seems beyond that, and that adds to her popularity. Caitlyn Clark is the biggest draw in women's basketball, and without her, many fans just aren't going to tune in.
Reese's priorities have also drawn criticism from fans, who have emphasized her emphasis on off-court endeavors like her podcast and social media presence, which appear to be taking precedence over her basketball career. With new podcast episodes dropping regularly, critics wonder if Reese is more interested in creating content than playing basketball.
We can see right here, I don't think my girl Angel has been working on layups at all, bro. I think Angel is focused on everything off the court. Doesn't look like she's polished or added to her game at all. Another season of this, and she'll fade into the woodwork.
Fans are being forced to reconsider Angel Reese's position in the league as it becomes painfully evident that she isn't the superstar she was hailed to be. This is especially true when contrasted with someone like Caitlyn Clark, who has continuously shown herself to be a game changer.
But no one's tuning in to watch Angel Reese. It's just not happening. She's not Michael Jordan. She's not Magic Johnson. She's not Larry Bird. She's someone that taunted Caitlyn Clark. Those are the facts.
As one fan so eloquently stated, the league wants results, not hype, and Reese isn't delivering. Let's now discuss the glaring disparity in impact between Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese.
It's here that we need to just realize Angel Reese is playing. And, she's been very big on herself as being a massive draw. If that is, in fact, the truth, then why are people not watching with the same excitedness that they were watching Caitlyn Clark?
And why Clark's absence is more felt than ever by the unmatched league. The numbers don't lie on opening night. The league only attracted 12,000 spectators in spite of a strong market with well-known players like Reese.
Cool new modernizations and this whole new league that was just built and is now making its debut. Fans aren't really buying into it as of this point. The games have averaged about 312,000 viewers across TNT and True TV, which is their broadcast partners. Those numbers, just to put into a little bit of perspective, while they seem like, okay, we've got over 312, when you put them in comparison to some of the WNBA numbers, specifically the WNBA numbers that featured Caitlyn Clark playing in a game, they are actually very low.
Compare this to the WNBA, where Caitlyn Clark's games regularly attract over 2 million people each game. The league promised fans excitement and talent, but without Clark, the fans are left with poor performances and falling numbers.
The Clark effect led to WNBA games that didn't even feature Clark drawing an average of 400,000 viewers. It's the Caitlyn Clark effect.
The Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky game, 2.3 million. Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever, 2.25 million. Fever versus the Storm, 2.2 million. Sun versus the Fever, 2.1 million. Okay, so you understand what I'm saying.
Additionally, Caitlyn Clark has been working hard while Reese is missing layups and finding it difficult to lead her team. Videos of her off-season practices with Coach Keith Porter have gone viral, demonstrating her unwavering commitment to raising her game.
Now, Caitlyn Clark also just celebrated a birthday a couple days ago, and for her birthday, she was in the gym, and she went 50 for 54 from 3 on her birthday.
In a single session, Clark fired an incredible 50 for 54 from beyond the arc, demonstrating her unparalleled shooting accuracy. She is currently working on broadening her skill set to counter any defensive tactics that are used against her, such as pull-up jumpers, turnaround fadeaways, and her trademark three-pointers.
So as you can see, Coach Keith Porter is there. Coach KP told me that one of his goals for Caitlyn was just to expand her bag. So no matter what defense is thrown at her, she has something for it. Caitlyn Clark wants to drop 20 or 30 a game. They're just going to have to accept that because there's not much they can do to stop her.
Thus, Coach Keith Porter is present, as you can see. Coach KP informed me that one of his objectives for Caitlyn was to just increase her repertoire so that she would be prepared for whatever defense that was thrown at her. They will simply have to accept that Caitlyn Clark wants to drop 20 or 30 every game, since there isn't much they can do to stop her.
WNBA players, along with their pretend friends in the mainstream media, they downplayed the impact of Caitlyn Clark. It is amazing how pretend hatred and fake outrage magically seem to disappear when it comes to making money.
Clark stands out from Reese and practically every other player in the league due to her dedication to excellence. Not only is Clark's absence from the unmatched league apparent, but it is conspicuous.
Caitlyn Clark already has money. She signed a $28 million deal with Nike. She's got endorsement deals from State Farm and a handful of other companies. Caitlyn Clark doesn't necessarily need the money.
She is being urged to intervene and salvage the league by supporters and even commentators. But here's the thing. The Unrivaled league is not necessary for Caitlyn Clark.
It doesn't make sense. You have downplayed her impact, her importance all season, and all of a sudden, you're offering her $1 million along with a ownership stake in your new league?
By concentrating on her WNBA career and significant events like the NBA All-Star Weekend, Clark is demonstrating that she is functioning at an entirely new level, and her brand and talent have already propelled women's basketball to new heights.
They are absolutely pumping crowd noise. Those people have no idea why they're there, probably got promised money.
Meanwhile, despite being promoted as the league star, Reese is struggling to attract fans and perform well on the court, making her incapacity to carry the league painfully evident.
They are offering Caitlyn Clark $1 million for 2 months of her services. Players didn't like Caitlyn Clark. Why would they be willing to make her the highest paid player in their new league?
Fans are beginning to recognize that Caitlyn Clark is the player they want to see, and that the league is rapidly becoming less relevant without her.
The idea to offer Caitlyn Clark this money, it did not come from WNBA players. It came directly from TNT. Without Caitlyn Clark, this league is a polished turf.
The narrative is quite obvious. The unmatched league lacks Caitlyn Clark's talent, work ethic, and fan-attracting abilities, which are exactly what it needs.
I mean, why would Angel Reese want Caitlyn Clark in this new league? If Caitlyn Clark is there, the spotlight of Angel Reese, it becomes a shadow.
And Angel Reese, who is demonstrating that hype by itself is insufficient to sustain a league because Reese consistently fails to deliver outcomes.
Some spoilers from the video. So she never misses 2 3-pointers in a row throughout these 54 shots that she took. Somebody said, how about she tries with a size 7 when that happens? We know that that also will not be a problem for Caitlyn because she's already shooting.
Let's now examine the bigger picture of why Caitlyn Clark, rather than Angel Reese, is viewed as the true face of women's basketball by the WNBA, the league's unrivaled league, and even by basketball fans worldwide.
So even though we are not able to see Caitlyn Clark play in an organized league this offseason, we are getting to see her go game speed, and it'll just be really exciting to see how these little tweaks add up to the full package of Caitlyn Clark gameplay that we will hopefully see during this next WNBA season.
There has been a notable change in the WNBA since Caitlyn Clark joined the scene. The numbers are self-evident. More people have watched and recognized Clark than the majority of her peers. But it's not just because of her capacity to pack arenas. It's also because of her unparalleled talent, her clutch during performances, and her ability to improve the game.
It's going to be Steph Curry and Klay Thompson versus Sabrina Ionescu and Caitlyn Clark. Someone else said Steph hit 100+ threes in a row, and that's very true. And I know also that Steph is going to be super hyped for this matchup. He's not going to miss out on having Times Athlete of the Year, the most famous basketball player in the world at this moment, in Caitlyn Clark at NBA All-Star Weekend.
An excellent illustration of how Clark's talent extends beyond the women's game is her participation in the NBA All-Star Weekend.
With it getting closer to NBA All-Star, but I guarantee you that she is preparing for this NBA 3-point shooting contest. Somebody said, how about she tries with a size 7 when that happens? We know that that also will not be a problem for Caitlyn because she's already shooting.
There have been reports circulating that Caitlyn Clark and Sabrina Ionescu may compete against NBA players Steph Curry and Klay Thompson in the NBA All-Star 3-point contest. This is not only a huge chance for Clark, it's also a declaration and evidence that women's basketball has made it to the biggest platform, with Caitlyn Clark in the forefront.
According to the media, this league is filled with star power. Angel Reese might be well known. Angel Reese may be a star on social media, but there's a huge difference between a star and a draw.
Nobody is coming close to the power of the Caitlyn Clark effect. Like, they're just not.
The boil on Caitlyn Clark's ass, Angel Reese may be playing in the league, but who wants to see a goofy 6'6" woman miss lay?
Angel Reese, meanwhile, is finding it difficult to remain relevant. Her latest benching following a poor performance that included missed layups and turnovers demonstrates how far behind she has come in terms of growth.
Caitlyn Clark is selling out everywhere she goes. Last season, the WNBA had to move road games out of high school gyms into actual NBA arenas just to accommodate the demand.
It is unrivaled. It is also unwatched. If you don't have Caitlyn Clark playing women's basketball, or if you're not the NCAA tournament playing women's basketball, you got nothing.
America sent them a clear reminder. We are not interested in watching pretend basketball. We have 30 years of evidence that proves women's basketball does not draw on television. We have 30 years of evidence that proves Americans are not interested in women's basketball.
Reese may be receiving some attention for her podcast and social media presence, But her real basketball abilities have been exposed, and even her performances in the league's best league have fallen short of expectations. After all, how many players can brag about being benched and still hope to carry a league?
Jealousy and envy and delusion all mixed together. You have no idea what you're talking about. You're delusional. People are watching these games because of Caitlyn Clark. Oh boy, if I say what I really think, these black women and these feminist white women are not going to sleep with me. And I may lose my job. They're going to come after my job. We're not in position to say to an Angel Reese, shut up.
On the other hand, Caitlyn Clark keeps demonstrating that she is a game changer in addition to being a player. Clark recently posted an incredible 50 for 54 three-point shooting session, demonstrating an incredible level of shooting precision. Her focus on developing her offensive repertoire makes her a nightmare for any defense. She's working on everything from quick pull-up jumpers to the signature deep threes that Coach Keith Porter described as her trademark. Her off-season workouts are nothing short of extraordinary. In addition to the statistics that accompany Clark's ascent, Clark wants to be so well-rounded that no defensive tactic can defeat her.
The main reason Unrivaled is failing, they have not given you a reason to watch.
You and I both know, right? We both know. No Caitlyn Clark, no watch. No Caitlyn Clark in the league, no watch. Caitlyn Clark's in that league, viewership doubles, if not triples.